Hi guys, I'm Michelle from The Recipe Bandit, and today we're going to be making our easy baked enchiladas. One of our favorite recipes, because this is a great way to use up leftover rotisserie chicken. We will oftentimes buy like those $5 Costco chickens, strip them down and make 2 meals out of them, and this one is perfect. So this is maybe not 100% authentic as far as enchiladas go, and you would think that me living in Arizona, I would be better at this, but you know what? This is one of the first recipes I learned when I got here. I really thought that this was authentic, and so to me, it's just delicious. If you want something authentic, there are lots and lots of people teaching authentic Mexican cooking. I'm just making tasty dinner with leftovers and calling it what I want. At least it feels that way. Anyway, these are enchiladas in that they are tortillas with a filling in a sauce and baked with cheese. They are delicious. They just maybe aren't as legit as some other ones are. All right, let's talk about the ingredients for our easy baked enchiladas. I think I already mentioned we need some rotisserie chicken, leftover shredded chicken, shredded pork works, anything leftover that you have that you want to use up. You need between 2 and 3 cups of meat, but really chicken and pork, they both come out wonderful in this recipe. You need a can of cream of chicken soup. This is why I say that this is not necessarily an authentic recipe. For our creamy sauce, we are going to cheat just a little bit with this cream of chicken soup, and we're going to mix it with some sour cream and some chili powder. We're going to make it's delicious. You might not know the difference unless I told you. If you don't tell anybody, I won't. But it makes up the creamy layer in our enchiladas. We have a tablespoon of butter. We have a small onion all chopped up. We have 8 little tortillas and a package of taco seasoning mix. I make taco seasoning mix all the time. Today, I don't have time. Like I said, I'm just a little bit rushed. There is a recipe for homemade taco seasoning. It is delicious. It's very convenient, and it's on the website at therecipebandit.com. But today, we are going to use the packet kind because that's what I've got. All right. Now, if we move to this side, you can see that we have some garlic powder and onion powder, some green chilies, some diced up green chilies. These are mild. Some lime juice. If you have a fresh lime, great. I didn't, so I have 2 teaspoons of lime juice, but you could use the juice of half of a lime. Some sliced olives, the canned kind that have been drained, a bunch of green onions that we've chopped up. You need a can of enchilada sauce. This is a 16-ounce can. It's really easy to make it from scratch, and we have a recipe for homemade enchilada sauce that works really well in these on the website, but I don't have time today. So, 16-ounce can of enchilada sauce, and you need a cup and a quarter of water. Finally, you need about 3 cups of shredded cheese, give or take. We usually add a little extra. We're really cheesy people. So this recipe is pretty easy once it gets going. I will say that if you have everything prepped and ready, it's going to go much smoother. The first time I made this, I think it took me a half an hour because I wasn't ready. So I'll walk you through the steps. I'll tell you at the point where I'm going to preheat the oven. And yeah, let's make some easy baked enchiladas. All right, so our recipe is going to begin by combining our can of cream of chicken soup with sour cream and with chili powder in a small saucepan. We are just going to mix these together. We're going to heat them on low heat and just kind of get it warmed. This is our creamy base. All right, for the second part, we are going to heat a tablespoon of butter over medium-high heat in a deep skillet. We are going to add in all of our onions, and we're going to cook them for about 5 minutes until they're translucent, stirring occasionally. Once your onions have softened, we're going to add the meat, the diced green chilies, the taco seasoning, about half of our chopped green onions. We'll save the other half for topping. we're going to add our water. We're going to mix this all together until well combined. And then we're going to heat it to get all of those flavors to meld. We want to bring it up to a bubble, and we want the majority of this liquid that you see in the bottom here to be absorbed. All right, you can see now that most of that fluid has been absorbed. This is your filling for your enchiladas. Once you get to this point where the liquid has evaporated or absorbed, whichever you want to think, I'm going to put in the lime juice, the onion powder, and the garlic powder. We are going to stir these in and turn off the heat. Our filling is almost all done. What we're going to do now is just go back over to our other little creamy pot that we were making. We are going to take 1 cup of the cream base, and we're going to stir it into our enchilada filling. This makes them delightfully creamy. It's also going to help to bring all of those flavors together. But you want to stir the cream mixture into your enchilada filling here until it's completely combined. Your enchilada filling is going to look something just like that. All right, so we've made our filling and we've made our creamy sauce, and before we start filling our tortillas, we are going to use our creamy sauce. So our creamy sauce, if you recall, is the mixture of the sour cream, the cream of chicken soup, and the chili powder. And we're going to take this and just spread it over the bottom of a 9x13 pan. This is going to be our creamy layer of our enchiladas, and it's going to be what our enchiladas sit right on top of. By warming it, it just spreads easier, it mixes easier, and that's what we want. So all I'm doing, just spreading this out right in the bottom. So 1 even layer in the bottom of a 9x13 pan. And now for our enchilada filling. I didn't have a high-sided skillet today, so I used a big pot. Anyway, enchilada filling's in here, and now we need to get it into our tortillas, and our tortillas into our enchiladas. Now is a perfect time to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, to assemble these, you are going to pick up a tortilla, kind of put it in your hand, and use 2 to 3 spoonfuls of filling. Top it with some shredded cheese, fold it over like this, and then flip it upside down into the pan so the seam side is down. We are going to do that for 8 tortillas. That's why you don't want this filling too wet, because it will just run right out the end. 2 spoonfuls, cheese, fold, and flip. And they can overlap a little bit in your pan. We're going to get 8 in there. The cheese inside of the tortillas on the enchilada filling just makes for an extra cheesy layer inside. All right, our last one. Now, if you want to use more tortillas, you absolutely can. I always try to target 8. 8 seems to fit in the pan well. 8 seems to fit the filling well. So you can do whatever you like. All right, so this is how they're looking so far. So next up, what we're going to do is we're going to pour the enchilada sauce. Remember, we have a can of enchilada sauce, a 16-ounce can. We're going to pour the enchilada sauce over the top, kind of spread it out just so that it gets some coverage. All right, after the enchilada sauce, we're going to go ahead and put the rest of our cheese right on the top. When this bakes, it's going to just make that cheesy, delicious layer. Just putting the icing on the top of the cake, really. We will sprinkle with our sliced black olives. Again, just kind of all over. You can put jalapenos, there's all sorts of things, whatever you like. Doesn't have to be black olives, doesn't have to be green onions. just like the way that it looks, and I love the way that it tastes. All right, finally, we're going to take the rest of our green onions that we had left over from our bunch. We put half in the filling, and the other half's going to go on the top. All right, these are now going to go into the oven. We're going to cook them for 25 to 30 minutes until the filling is cooked through and the edges are bubbling. One of my favorite things to do with leftover chicken. All right, let's get them in the oven. All right, so the enchiladas are fresh out of the oven. The cheese is melted, the edges are bubbling, it smells delicious. This is one of those things that honestly, it's going to taste great tonight, but it's going to taste even better tomorrow. Leftovers, these enchilada leftovers, I honestly think my family would probably eat them tomorrow instead. They just get better. So this is something that maybe might not be 100% traditional, but is a favorite in this house, is a great use for rotisserie chicken. It makes a meal that makes enough for leftovers for the next day. This easily serves probably 8 people. There's 4 of us, 3 of us having dinner tonight, so there will be lots left over. This is one of those things that we didn't use any real special ingredients for. We used some enchilada sauce and some taco seasoning, some normal stuff that everybody has in their house. These are the kind of recipes that we try to bring you here. So I'm so glad that you guys joined us today. If you like what we're doing, please, please, please like and subscribe. Click the notification button on our YouTube videos so that you know when we put out new videos, because we're putting them out at least once a week every Wednesday right now. And then this recipe for these easy baked enchiladas is on our website at therecipebandit.com. It's also in the description. And yeah, I'm going to let it cool. I'm going to let this dinner cool for probably 5 minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and dig in. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you will come back and see us again. And I hope you'll try these because you won't regret it. Have a good night.